Humanity's first recorded mass encounter with the pathogen began in the 6th century. Known as the Justinian Plague, it spread through the Mediterranean and the Middle East, devastating the Byzantine Empire. Historians debated for centuries whether this ancient catastrophe was actually caused by the plague, as written accounts from the era are often difficult to diagnose with modern precision. Recently, scientists used ancient DNA extracted from the teeth of 6th century victims to look for the biological evidence. Sequencing this ancient DNA confirmed that Yersinia pestis was indeed the killer, proving the pathogen's reach across the ancient world was just as devastating as it would be in later centuries. The second pandemic was the result of a massive evolutionary branching in Central Asia, an event researchers called the Big Bang. This divergence split the bacteria into distinct lineages that rapidly colonized new ecological niches across Eurasia. In 1348, the medical faculty of the University of Paris attempted to explain the resulting mortality, ultimately blaming it on a conjunction of 3 planets in the sign of Aquarius. Modern science has shifted away from the traditional model of rat-flea transmission. New Bayesian models show that the rapid spread of the Black Death better matches transmission via human fleas and body lice. Pollen records and skeletal analysis further reveal that the death toll was far from uniform. While frail individuals were most at risk, some regions in Central and Eastern Europe showed evidence of continuous agricultural growth throughout the pandemic. The deadliest pandemic in history was governed by specific biological and environmental rules, leading to a complex regional history rather than a single, universal wave of destruction. The third pandemic emerged in the 1890s, originating in China before moving to the busy ports of Hong Kong. This time, steamships facilitated the spread, carrying the disease to the Americas and Africa faster than any previous century's transport allowed. In 1894, bacteriologist Alexander Yersin successfully isolated the bacteria under his microscope, identifying the specific organism responsible for the pandemics. This era led to the identification of 2 distinct clinical forms of the disease. In the bubonic form, bacteria travel through the lymphatic system to create painful swellings called buboes. In the pneumonic form, the bacteria infect the lungs, allowing it to spread directly through respiratory droplets. By isolating the pathogen and mapping these transmission routes, humanity moved away from superstition and began to actively combat the disease. The plague remains a modern reality. The third pandemic established permanent reservoirs in wild rodent populations globally, from the steppes of Eurasia to the American West. Yersinia pestis is still classified as a high-priority pathogen, as untreated cases, particularly the pneumonic form, remain almost always fatal. While modern antibiotics can successfully treat the infection, the plague's greatest current value is the biological data it has left in its wake. By integrating ancient DNA, big data, and historical records, researchers have turned these 3 pandemics into a unified model for tracking how pathogens move. Understanding how the plague exploited global networks for millennia provides a biological blueprint for surviving the outbreaks of the future.